Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, and today we are back with another Blitz deck tech, specifically with the hero Benji. I've been wanting to do some more Blitz deck techs, one because our store has been doing some fun Blitz tournaments, and Blitz season's coming up in November, and I just enjoy Blitz a lot. I think it's a format where you can really play around with different heroes and have a lot of different fun with a bunch of the young heroes. And for me, Blitz, like obviously if you're not at an event, it's more just like a fun thing to do. So I'll use heroes that maybe aren't going to be like tip top heroes, but they're just really fun to use. And Benji's one of them. Benji's not used by a ton of people. Obviously, probably not the most powerful hero in the world, but he does have a very unique ability. And if you play him correctly, he actually can be very annoying. The cards kind of got to fall your way sometimes, but overall, I like playing Benji, especially like an aggro style Benji. I'll play a lot, and if I get the card in cards in my hand that I need, I can do like 10-12 damage that's literally unblockable. So he can be really good in certain situations. But so we just want to do this. If you want to try Benji, try out a new hero, someone that's really fun, this might be for you. Really good to play with some buddies. Someone who's new to the game, this is perfect for you to make something like this. There are some like higher level equipment, lower level equipment in here, so we'll get right into it. The main line of equipment that I run are these four: Mask of Momentum, Breaking Skills, Snapdragon Scalers, and Heart and Cross Trap. Mask is the big ticket one, so you might not have Mask. If you don't, it's fine. You can use Hope Merchant's Hood. It's very good cards at common. It allows you basically to put any number of cards back into your deck, shuffle, and then draw that same amount of cards, which is really good for Benji because sometimes you'll draw a dead hand with Benji, or a hand where you don't have a lot of 2 costs or less attacks in order to hit with, so it's really good for that. For anyone that's not familiar with Benji, attack action cards you control with 2 like attack or less cannot be defended by cards in hand. That includes defense reaction. So unless they have a defense reaction in Arsenal, they can't block anything that's only hitting for 2 or less. So any that doesn't count your Kodachis, but anything that is an attack action 2 or less, they can't block. So if you have 4 attack actions with Go Again, maybe like 2 head jabs or 2 soul bead strikes, they can't block any of them, and that's just a free 8 damage. And then once per turn, when an attack action card you control hits, the next one gains +1. This can bite you in the butt or be really good for you, but it just depends. So yeah, this is the main line of equipment I run. I'll run Hope Merchant's Hood in place of Mask if you don't have Mask. If you have Findle's Spring Tunic, good for you. It's a really good card. It depends on what you want to run. I run an aggro version of Benji, so I prefer Heart and Cross Trap in case I want to play that Surging Strike for free. But Findle's Spring Tunic's also amazing for it. And then Breaking Skills for the +1 for the combo cards. There's not a whole lot of combo cards in here, so you don't have to use that if you don't want. But I use it for like the Whelming Gust Wave, Crane Dance. That's pretty much it for that. You could also use it to help block, which is good for Benji. You could use like an Ironhide Gauntlet or something like that to block for 2. Or you could use No Ruin Gloves if you're playing someone. The arms piece is probably the most diverse thing you could use with Benji. I don't have a whole lot of combo cards in here, so Breaking Skills isn't as useful, but it does block for 1, which is nice. You could also use Ironhide Gauntlet or something like that. Snapdragon Scalers is a must. That's like the key leg piece. And then again, No Ruin Gloves I'll put in sideboard in case I'm playing like a Viscerai or a Chain or something like that. So getting into the deck, I run a very different Benji class. So any of the Benji mains in here, you feel free to disagree. It's a fun deck for me. Like this isn't like a serious, like I'm going to nationals with this Blitz deck. This is just a fun deck that people would play and possibly enjoy. So I run a lot of Go Again as much as I can because with Benji, like the more cards you can put together is really good. So like I run 2 red leg taps, 2 blue leg taps. The blue leg taps cannot be blocked, right, by cards in hand, because it's a 2 hit. So these are free damage as your first hit. And I like doing stuff like this, like doing a blue leg tap that can't be blocked into a red Surging Strike, right? So you do a blue head jab or leg tap for 2, then you do Surging Strike, which because of Benji's ability will hit for 6, and it has Go Again. So now you just attack for 8, and you still have cards in hand to keep attacking. And 2 of it definitely got through, which for someone with only 20 health is really good, right? Or maybe you attack with a blue leg tap for 1, and then you attack with, maybe like a Snatch or maybe a Crane Dance that only hits for 1, or a Whelming Gust Wave that only hits for 1. So now you've dealt 3 damage. You pop Snapdragon Scalers, So 2 and 2, and then you hit for Surging Strike maybe in your final one. So now you're hitting for 5, 7, 9 that turn. So it's really good with Benji. You can do a lot of different things with him. But I run 4 leg taps, 2 Surging Strikes. I run the Soul Bead Strike. This is automatic go again, right? It hits 2 with go again. They can use their equipment to block, but I mean that equipment's only going to last like a turn or two, and then they'll have no more equipment. And unless you're playing a Guardian, most people don't have equipment that blocks for a ton in Blitz. Maybe you have an Arcanite Skullcap or something like that, but eventually they're going to have to not be able to block with equipment. Soul Bead Strike at red. I run Scar for Scars. Plunder Run I'll use on like a Surging Strike from Arsenal. I'll run Snatches to help me draw cards. Head Jabs as well. And then I like to run post-attack pumps because, you know, you attack with a leg tap, blue leg tap for 2, which automatically can't be blocked unless they use equipment. And then you come in with a Razor Reflex. Now all of a sudden it's hitting for 5, and if they don't have a defense reaction Arsenal, you just got a free 5 damage. Like for, you know, and Ancestral Empowerment +1 lets you draw a card, which is really good with like an unblockable card. These are just really good for the deck. I run Torrent Tempo. It's 1 cost for 5. It's really good. Maybe you do this to force cards out of hand. Or you know, you do a blue leg tap, and then you do this to force cards out of hand, maybe. Razor it, and then keep moving with your turn. I like Salt the Wound. It's a very unique card, but I'll use it because it gains +1 for each attack they hit this combat chain. So like if you Kadachi and they don't block you, let's say, or they block 1, so you've hit once, and then you maybe like Head Jab for 2, and then you Crane Dance or you do a Snatch or something like that, give it Snapdragon, then you play Assault the Wound. However many cards hit that turn, it gets +1. So if 3 cards hit that turn, all of a sudden you're playing a 0 cost card for 5. It can also be used for pitch and stuff like that. So it's really good for that. Also, you run Legend Press, which is good for pitch, but also gives things +1. So if you have like a Torrent Tempo that's hitting for 5, you can give it +1 to make sure it gets that go again, or your red Soul Bead Strike, something like that. And then I'll run Whelming Gust Wave. I don't like Whelming Gust Wave as much, but it is unblockable, so that's really good. And then I run 2 Flick Flash just to help out my defensive reactions. But overall, this Benji build is designed to try to eke out like 4 to 8 damage a turn, like that's unblockable if it's a good turn. And then just defend with cards in hand and then come back at it. That's the good thing about Benji is, you know, if you have 2 cards in hand and one of them can pitch for the 2 Kadachis and then you play a Head Jab, like you're only hitting for 4 or 5, but like 3 or 4 of that damage might be unblockable. So you're always, even on a bad turn, you could hit for 3 or 4 damage, no problem, and there's nothing they can do about it. The only bad thing about Benji, and I've noticed this from playing against Benjis, is some people just won't block you because they can't, right? So they have a full grip for their turn, and then you're forced to block with Benji, and you never want to do that. But Benji's really fun. It's just a different hero to play. You know, I don't want to just do all the mainline heroes and the ones that everybody plays all the time. I want to give new people different stuff to play. There's definitely different ways to play Benji for sure. Not even an argument on that. This is definitely different than most Benji players. I just wanted to do something different and have fun with it. So a lot of Benjis will play similar to Iroh, where they play like heavy defensive reactions and then come in Kadachi, and then play a 2 cost or 2 power attack or 2 power attacks. Now they're hitting for 5 or 6, where 4 or 5 of it is unblockable, and then they'll defend with their defense reactions and then keep repeating that process over and over. So I personally like the aggressive one though, but there's definitely different ways to play it. Look up all the other Benji lists. There's definitely ones out there. It's just a really fun different hero to play. He does start with 17 health, which is a little bit of a detriment, but it's fine. It's not too big of an issue. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. It's just a fun little easy Blitz deck for you to try out with your buddies, especially new players. It's really fun to try out all the new heroes and see what all the people can do. And everything in this deck, for the most part, is pretty easy to get. The only kind of like high tier card is Ancestral Empowerment, but these aren't even expensive. They're like a couple bucks, but they are majestic, so you might not be able to get your hands on them. But everything else in here is either a rare or a common for the most part. I don't see anything else at the card level. Yeah, everything else is rare or common. So Benji's really good. I enjoy it. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you don't want to do it for me, you know, go to another Flesh and Blood creator. Like, comment, subscribe on their videos, follow their stuff, so more people can see this game and really enjoy it. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in to TCG Talk. I'll be doing more Blitz deck techs here this week. I'll be doing a couple other ones I'm doing. I'm working on a Kano one that's kind of fun. I'm going to do a couple commoner deck builds for like lower level players that don't want to spend a ton of money. I'm going to make an Ira deck as well and just do a bunch of different fun stuff. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Don't just do the generic high level deck techs. Yeah, thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and thank you for watching TCG Talk. See y'all later.